And I put this up like a week later. Hey guys, I hope you liked our other video on why we hate school / and it'd be in the / middle school. And this one's why we hate school, in those slashes, high school. And, you know, the middle school one was part 1. There'll be another part at some point, and this is part 1 of the high school. So let's get into what we hated about, like, why high school was such a problem.
Where to start? Well.
I'm trying to think of, like, how to explain it into words.
Because I don't even know I didn't even know where to begin.
Middle school really sucked. There's something about certain parts of high school that really were not good.
I know.
Do you know what I mean? Especially like 9th, and like especially for me the end of 12th, like because like I had like we'll get into that later. So let's think about 9th grade. Like what was the biggest
problem? In a weird way, each grade was terrible. 9th was the worst in certain ways. It's weird. It's like everyone's like, they said 9th is always the worst. I'm like, yeah, but 10th is the worst.
Oh yeah, here's one thing I want to remember. Remember this, and it was so weird. They were like, this here you're gonna meet on the first day of school your big brother. And like,
what happened with that?
And remember that? And it was like, did you ever see that fucker ever again?
No.
Besides that one day.
I don't even remember who it was.
And they said you're supposed to see him throughout the whole year. You can have fun activities, go to baseball games. Remember all that shit they said? I never saw that son of a bitch ever again.
Wait, did they assign us to like voluntarily keep in touch with them?
No, you were supposed to keep in touch with them all the time. It was like he was your big brother.
Were they supposed to check in on that or something?
I don't know. I never saw him again.
Like the guy, like I don't even know if I met mine. If I did, it's like he never got back to me. So it's like, what happened?
I remember the guy that had like curly hair. I always remember that, and he was really uninterested in talking to me.
Do you think when he met me, like something about him, he had some problem with me, so he decided he's like, I'm not gonna.
Fuck him.
He's like, I'm not gonna get in touch with him. So it's like I don't even remember. Like I don't even know if I remember people going, so MJ, you having fun with your big brother? You doing stuff with your big brother? I mean, well, does anyone even care to talk to me about it in the first place?
But do you think like, but do you think that the 9th grade would have been better if we would have spoken to the big brother? I mean, do you think he would have helped us?
Helped us what? Like
he was supposed to help us start off the year right, but he didn't do it.
Wait, well, what if he could have made it better? It's like, I don't know, like make people not be mean or something.
It didn't work though. He didn't do anything. We never saw him again. And then you had that Anthony guy. Was that 9th grade he was doing that? Or was that 10th?
I think some of that was 9th. He also gave me a lot of crap in 10th too.
He was just like crazy guy with like mental problems, Anthony. And he was always in the halls, and he was always giving you and me crap. Remember, he's always like, I'm gonna go on the dairy farm with my dad. I'm gonna milk the cows during the summer. And he's always like, what the fuck are you doing here? Remember, like he'd always then remember he always pushed you and like pushed you around like that.
Remember, he always kicked me in the legs.
And he was kicking you and pulling on you and like pushing you around. Like, what the hell was that about?
I don't know. And I so desperately wanted to,
kick his ass.
Kick his ass.
And then that one time,
I thought, ironically, with my luck. You know what I mean? As many times as he pushes me around, if I get caught once doing it, I'm the one who gets in trouble.
And the worst thing was, remember there was some kind of like a metal thermometer thing that they used to tell temperatures.
Yeah.
And for some reason the piece was broken off. It was just laying there, and I picked it up and was looking at it, and at the exact moment I was looking at it, the teacher came out and said, I certainly hope you didn't break that. Remember how mad she was? And then Anthony was like, yeah, he did. Remember she was like pointing out like I did? He's like, oh. It was awful. That guy, and he never...
And you know what one of the biggest insults he ever gave me?
What?
I severely wanted to break his face for saying this. He's like, when the fuck are you guys going to get a job? And they're like, we're, film production? He's like, I mean a real job. It's like...
He said that to us when we were in 9th grade.
Remember that? Remember he said that? I was so mad. I'm like, we're going to be making more money than you, fucker.
He's like, where the fuck are you guys going to get it? I do remember that. Because that's when he was like, I'm going to be a dairy farmer and all that stuff.
It's like, even if he does get a job, we're probably going to make a lot more money than he ever will.
Have you ever seen him since, though?
No, what do you think happened to him? I don't even know.
He could have been committed to a group home.
Probably.
A guy like him. He wasn't like mentally retarded or anything. He just was like crazy. Just plain nuts.
And not cool, fun, crazy, annoying, pissed off, piss you off crazy.
Like annoying, and he would like stick with you everywhere you went. Remember, like we would try and go up there and hide from him in the halls, and he'd come and go, hi guys, remember all that, and he'd like be in it all the conversations we said, and he'd listen in. I think 9th grade too. We didn't have lunch together, didn't we? One
of the grades we didn't. I had lunch with this other really good friend of mine, but I think I even remember like in my photo class there was this girl who always talked to me, and like this was 10th or 11th grade. One of the few people I got along with, and I think a lot of people gave her crap too. So she sort of realized, I'm not one of those like a dumbass or a jerk. So she's like, "Can I ask you a favor?" I'm like, "Okay." She goes, "Would you sit next to me on the bus?" I'm like, "Sure, why?" And then she goes, "Because Anthony, he harasses me a lot." I'm like, "He harasses you too?" And then I had got into my head like I was the only person he gave shit to.
Didn't Anthony have like a real a buzz cut to
yeah,
kind of like a Biff kind of guy?
I know. And then she says, "If you sit next to me, he won't give me shit." And I'm like, "Okay." And then I said, "I thought he always gave me shit." She goes, "Well, we're survivors."
Didn't he used to always wear shirts with holes, some kind of hole, or some kind of a squiggly shirt? I think they were always white, and they always had some kind of a label in the middle.
I know.
Or,
I know.
Some kind of a stupid picture.
Some of my shirts this
shirt. You
I
scratch
think
your balls or something?
No. No, I'm arranging my shirt. No, look. This this is one of the same shirts I had since 9th grade.
I remember and that other guy, that fat guy, would always come to steps, and he'd always.
No, he was a cool. He was a cool guy. He was cool though,
but all we ever said to him was, he was going, "How's it going?"
He was out of breath.
He walked up all these steps.
He's like,
and he would be real pooped out.
He was like.
He made me look like a skinny wiener.
He made you look like me.
I mean, yeah,
he had red hair, curly hair, and a beard, and he wasn't a jerk or anything. It's just we didn't really become friends with him because he didn't really talk much.
The thing is too, he was this big and had this huge beard, and he was in the 10th grade. He was only a year ahead of us. Because remember, he was there even throughout a couple of years we were there.
I know.
And he really looked old. Maybe he was in his 20s or something. Just held back a lot.
Maybe.
Or something. And I think I saw him a couple times in real life.
But after that?
Remember that other guy who works at the booze shop now? That asshole. Remember him when he works at that booze shop? Yeah.
Him? Oh, in 9th grade, I was in a math class, and he was in 12th grade, and I couldn't seem to figure out. He was he was so negative. He was real mean to me. He's like, "I'm only in this class to fill up my schedule." It's like, it occurred to me, wait a minute, what if he never passed math? I thought, what if he's just in here to harass us? And then I remember he was so mean, and once, I remember he was being real nice. He was like, "Oh, MJ, okay, buddy, now you ready to do this?" And I'm like, he's being nice. And I was being real nice. We were getting along, and it was great. But I thought, wait a minute, that was one. That was one of those situations where the classroom was under observation by one of the vice principals,
oh, yeah.
And then they were seeing how the class went, and he was smart and knew I got to be nice so that way I don't get crap. And then the next day I'm like, "Hey, Brian, want to do this?" He's like, "Shut up." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "I want to go home," and he's like, "I wish I could have brought my soda." Or he just said stupid stuff. I'm like, wait a minute, he was only being nice to me to look good in front of the vice principal.
Yeah, I remember.
That was so
that
bad.
Guy was a moron. I remember seeing him all the time. I think I was in some kind of a class with him too.
Wait, years before you worked at the where you work now, he worked there. I
and
remember, and I saw him filling up a thing of butter with popcorn, and I'm like,
I actually didn't want to go to that theater much because I always would see him there. Do you know what I mean?
And I think the girl who I worked.
And then he always put his hair in a weird ponytail at that time.
Something. So he's like, and I think the girl who asked me to sit next to her on the bus, I think at some point she worked there, and I think she changed her name on the name tag.
It didn't he always have this look like an actor like you'd see in the movie, but you never knew exactly who. But he always looked like this actor, who was a dick in movies.
And I felt like he was, and he never came clean about it.
Almost I don't know how to explain what he looked like. He was and he also looked like a 1980s surfer dude or something, didn't he?
Kind of.
Like Spicoli, like a real negative Spicoli or something. I don't know. And then that was the main problem in high school. Is there were so many people in there that were so drug addict and downbeat and real negative about everything. When you're around all those kind of people, and that really ruins your spirits.
It does.
And really puts you in a bad mood. And remember, by the end of school, we'd always go in the bathroom and do like they did. Drew Barrymore did in Donnie Darko, and go in the bathroom and scream, "Fuck it!" So loud it echoed. I know somebody had to have heard it.
No, you said remember in 12th grade we were so fed up with high school. We were ready to be. We were already 18 years old. We were ready to be done and just be out of there.
I mean, I turned 18 within a week or two after school started. It was terrible.
I know, and I was just after that we were walking through. Remember we walked in there and you was you said, "MJ, I think I know a little relief. I mean, it wouldn't fully help, but it'll do something." I'm like, "What?" You're like let's go in the bathroom and scream at the top of our lungs. And I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck it! And then I think at some point, I remember at one point, didn't a teacher, someone walked in and was like...
Oh, at one point I do remember a teacher did come in and look around like this.
Like looking around what that noise was, and something wrong? And then, so you know what I mean? It's we acted I remember once I was in I I know this is on high school, but this happened in college. One of my early college classes, I was having such an awful time. The teacher loved giving me shit. The other students behind me I know they were giggling at me about something. Cause I remember they were always looking at me. These two girls. I'm like, what?
Was it
they were
Annie's class?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
Don't be so loud.
Okay.
It's really loud.
And she was always always giving me crap. I went into the bathroom. I was so mad. Like it was past the point of yelling. I started slamming my foot on the wall. I think I made like the paper towel dispenser like fall off the wall. I'm like, shit. Like I was like, like slamming my foot on the wall so hard. You could hear these huge bangs. I took it and hung it back up. And then a few minutes later, this guy looks in and I'm like, something wrong? He goes, did you hear a huge banging? And I'm like, no. And I thought, look, no. And then I'm like, yeah, it was me because like the class is pissing me off.
No, it's an earthquake.
Yeah, it was like an earthquake.
Yeah, and I remember you would tell me about all that stuff because you got to go home early during 12th grade. Remember you would go home...
Yeah, I couldn't find a job. I just started college early. And since I looked older, no one knew I was like this young guy. I actually looked like older than half the people there.
So one thing that stuck with me in high school, like especially the last grade, was I only had one class I had to take, which was like that economics. So the rest of the day I'd be in there, killing time, doing all this crap, like the nurse's assistant. And I got so sick in there, being the nurse's assistant, I couldn't believe it. I got like sick within a month, like a couple weeks. Deathly sick from being around those sick people. Remember that?
Do you want to get into some of the details about that?
No. I
No.
don't want to get into all that.
Mm.
And then I got put in like Mrs. Eccles, and like this woman, and I was like doing something in that, and then I think no, I did one thing that didn't work out. Then I got in like this art and design class where like I did this picture. It was supposed to be something about like.
Was it outer space or something?
And it was like about AIDS or something, and I made something of the outer space, and like it was all this like starry background with black and these star images, and I quit because of this one line. It pissed me off so much. I printed out this great picture, and something happened with the printer, and it smeared the whole thing, put all these terrible lines down it. I said, "Can I print this again?" And she's like, "You can't print it again. It's gonna use too much black ink." And the way she said it, I was like, "Fuck this! I'm out of here." And I like the next day, I quit the class, like because she was always having it out to get me. She would always schedule these really peculiar assignments, like real new age.
I had her. I'm wondering if she was like a hippie, but like not a cool hippie.
No, she was definitely she reminded me like of the teacher in Billy Madison.
That's what I was thinking.
The one who's like, during this time, Billy, this is Mrs. Something's special time. And, you know what I mean? She listened to that music and going,
I feel like when I was with her, like I think that was 12th grade, 11th grade I had her, and like one of the worst assignments said like design your own web page. It was when the internet was still kind of fairly new, and
it wasn't really new, but
you know what I mean.
Back then there was all kinds of sites and everything. It was just,
but people weren't like it wasn't what it is now. But
no,
there was no YouTube. There were like not much videos or any of that stuff, and she said design a web page and have a background, add your own photos and this stuff, and I was having a huge portion of my grade depended on that, and I don't even know how I passed. Did you
ever make a website? Somewhere on the internet right now, there's probably some website you made.
I know, and it's background's green. It's my favorite color. And
what did you put on this website?
Pictures. I don't even remember what most of it is. She says do this and put some of your assignments. And I know some of it was cool, but she's like, and she says, did you not listen to what we were talking about and how to make it? Like I couldn't seem to figure out what I was doing. I was trying to copy other people's, and I'm like, okay, what was funny was some of their. Like the coding of their images like ended up on mine too, and I'm like crap. And I said, how do I do this? And like I think one of someone else's picture was on mine because I copied the coding of theirs, and I'm like, okay. And then they're like, how'd you get mine? I'm like, I copied yours because I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh jeez.
Like I don't know how to make a website.
Why did they give you that assignment?
I don't even know what it had. It was supposed to be like computer art and design. And I was in there and it was so ridiculous.
No, it was just I couldn't take that class, and then I went in there and like I kept in the black ink, and that's exactly how she said, just like that.
Did you tell like one of the photo teachers?
And she would always play. She'd play music that would get stuck in your head in a bad way. And I had her early in the morning. And see, when you're first up, and it's like. No, what time was it we were starting school? Like 8 o'clock in the morning?
Like 7 something.
7:40 or 5 in the morning we'd start the class. When it's that kind of time in the morning, I can't listen to like annoying music, and I cannot think to do a project. I'm worthless at that time of the morning.
Me too. You couldn't, I mean, you could make you be able to get me to lift something or move something, but like you can't get me to really think
And
about
I'd always
stuff.
have that, like terrible sick feeling in the morning. So I'd always be sitting there like, I'd be sitting like this, like, ugh. And there's always some people that are always like, I'm ready to start today. You know what I mean? Like they must have been like, using drugs or like, like those drinks that like Jolt drinks or something. They're like, ugh. Like I never drank any of that stuff in the morning. I'd be sick. All I drank is like a lot, like guzzled tons of things of water. Remember that we used to always be sick, and then we were like. I was like, MJ, let's just get some water. And we went to the water fountain for like 2 minutes straight. And then after a while, we were like, phew, I'm better now. It was almost like we drowned out the acid of our stomach with water.
It's like I just feel like, yeah, like you know what I almost feel like. Never mind.
What did we say? What was I talking about? And I was like saying in the class though, so you'd always schedule these things I had to try and do in the morning. I remember once though in the one class, I don't know why why we were thinking. Well, I remember I made that webpage with Walt Smeggins and that guy like Wilford Brimley or something. I remember Walt Smeggins came in and like had to read it, and I had to go in front of the entire class doing the Walt Smeggins voice, and you were doing the other character. So I was like, hello everyone, I'm Walt Smeggins, and I'm here to talk to you about how the art design of Course Getco. And you were like, yeah, and like, this is my friend Course. Hi, Course. Remember, then you'd say something, you'd be like...
I don't even remember what the voice was. Wasn't I supposed to be like this stoner hippie kind of guy?
And see, we were going to tape it. We were going to tape it for the TV and radio thing, but it was, at that time of the morning, we can't get shit done.
Didn't the whole class like it? You remember everyone was smiling, everyone loved it.
I remember everyone liked it, but didn't you feel like an asshole standing in front of the class without any wig or any glasses or any props doing this?
Wasn't I dressed as myself? I had like the same hair. It was a little longer then. The same outfit. It wasn't a pair of shorts because it was near the summer.
And the worst thing is too, when I do that Walt Smeggins, even if I'm just doing the voice, I end up still doing those faces.
Like,
so I'm they're doing this like, "Hello, class," like you know how embarrassed doing that face is.
Everyone was probably like, "Oh, it's so funny."
You can't do that voice without doing that face. It just comes with it.
I know. And
it's like when you do Don's voice, it's like, "Hi, Marth." It's like, "Hi, Marth." You can't do the voice without that face. It just doesn't work. There's no way of doing it.
You know, I don't remember how I did the voice, but I think the way I was doing it, I was acting like this real stoner guy. I was like, hey, Walt, yeah, and want to talk about this. It was something like that.
I remember